Hi guys, my name is Maria. I'm an illustrator and character designer from Turin, Italy. You may have taken one of my courses for 21 Draw before, and in that case you probably know me already. But if you haven't, here's a little bit about me. I have been working as a freelance artist in the animation and publishing sectors for the past 4 years, and I've had the opportunity of working with some of my favorite companies like Disney, Hachette, and Sweet Candy. As a freelance artist, I take on several different types of projects, like books for children and school books, and sometimes animation, for which I do character design or storyboards. All of these projects are different, but they all have in common having a very unique style, which is decided by the art director or by me if I am the art director in that specific process. So style is a very common word nowadays. It's a word that gets bandied a lot on social media where there's, a lot of draw this in your style challenges and stuff like that. But what is style? I mean, one of the questions that I get asked the most by people on social media is, how did I find my own style? And it follows, how can someone at the start of their artistic journey find theirs? I think that style isn't something that is set in stone. Style is always evolving, mostly because artists are people and people are always changing. But of course there is a difference between trying to find your own style with a series of conscious choices and exercises and simply sort of stumbling around trying to make sense of what you're drawing. Looking back at my own journey, it took me quite a while to figure out what was my style and to develop a way of drawing that was cohesive enough to be recognized as a style. And even now, if I look at other people's art, like people that I follow on Instagram or ArtStation, I look at these amazing artists and I see that they have a very cohesive style and beautifully consistent sort of like feeds. But then I look at mine and I see that every single drawing looks a little bit different, and that's bugged me for a while actually. But ultimately I reached the conclusion that only experimenting and constantly changing our style, we can actually improve and grow out of our comfort zone. So in this course, I want to tackle what is stylization and sort of break it down into stages to understand how you can take a character from the very realistic to hyper cartoony. What are the steps that you need to take to do that? Along the way, we'll talk about shapes, proportions, coloring techniques, and strategies that you can use to explore and find your own style. I'll be using a Wacom Cintiq 22 HD, which is my tablet, and Photoshop as my software of choice. Actually, there are 2 videos in this course that focus specifically as an overview for Photoshop, so if you've never used it, here's your tutorial. Of course, you are also very welcome to use any other digital drawing software or any tablets, even pencil and paper really, for the first half of the course at least. The course is divided into theoretical sort of classes where we talk about style and sort of break it down into manageable steps, and then practical videos where I do demos with you to show you practically how you can do that with Photoshop. At the end of each class, I'm going to give you some homework, which you can do to practice on your own, and which you can also send me if you want me to have a look at it. I'm also going to give you some references and bibliography if you want to take up the challenge and do some further readings on your own, since the subject is so huge. If at the end of the course you have done some art that you want to show me, again, don't forget to tag me on social media. I am MLM_illustration, and I'd love to have a look at it and give you a shout out. I guess there's nothing else to say. If you're ready, let's get started.